Hey guys, welcome back to HR. Today's video is going to be about 100 surprising technology facts that you didn't know. Some of them I actually never knew about, some of them I did. The Firefox logo isn't a fox. There is a common misbelief that because the browser is named Firefox, the logo must be a fox. It's actually a red panda. The first Apple logo isn't what you would think. I actually never knew. The first Apple logo is like this. This the scientist Isaac Newton, where he finds out gravity about like when the apple falls from the tree and he wonders why it falls down, and then he realizes it's because of gravity. Uh, I never knew Google rents out goats. You read that right. Instead of mowing their lawn, Google rents goats to eat the grass at the Mountain View headquarters. A herder will bring 200 goats, which are herded by a border collie named Jen. The name for robot has dark origins. If you look into the etymology of robot, it comes from the Czech word robota, which translates to forced labor or work. The word was first used to refer a fictional humanoid in a play in 1920. Okay, I don't understand what's so special about that. The first ever VCR was the size of a piano. That's actually huge. That's like the size of a washing machine. It was made in 1956. It was the size of a piano. Way bigger than I would have guessed. Samsung is 38 years and 1 month older than Apple. That's actually a long time. Samsung was founded as a grocery store on March 1st, 1938 by Lee Byung-chul. Sorry if I mispronounced the name. Apple founders Steve Jobs and Steve Wozniak created Apple Computer Inc. on April 1st, 1976. A petabyte is a lot of data. We all know that 1 GB is the same as 1024 megabytes, but did you know that 1 petabyte is equivalent to 1024 terabytes? I did know this, but this is actually way more than any phone or laptop has. Like right now, the most on like a phone or laptop is about like 2 terabytes I've seen, which are in stores with like JB Hi-Fi, but they're really rare. Most of the time, powerful laptops and phones don't have a lot of storage, like don't have like 2 terabyte, but they would have like 1 terabyte sometimes. But you don't need 1 petabyte of storage on your laptop or phone for a normal person. What's this one? Domain name registration used to be free. Way back when people didn't realize how huge the internet would be, registering a domain name was free until 1995. When a fee was introduced, it was high. Prices were typically $100 for 2 years of registration. Megabytes used to weigh hundreds of pounds. More specifically, 5 megabytes of data weighed 1 ton. In 1956, the first computer had something similar to a hard drive. At the time, it was huge. In storage capabilities, but cabinet that contained the hard drive weighed over 2,200 pounds and could hold 5 megabits of data. Like in the 1900s, there was um, only storage, like some CDs could only store a certain amount of, like probably like 5 kilobytes, which is so little compared to what we have now. Now CDs can hold like more than 4 gigabytes, but now we don't use CDs much. Sometimes, mainly we use SD cards or USBs. The radio took 38 years to reach an audience of 50 million. You'd think the invention of the radio would be a big deal, but it took 38 years for the radio to reach an audience of 50 million. Meanwhile, the iPod only took 3 years to reach the same milestone. The first camera needed an incredibly long exposure. The first photograph ever taken in 1826 took 8 hours to expose. The creator of that camera, Louis Daguerre, was able to lower that time drastically to just 15 minutes in 1839. Credit card chips have been around for a long time. Too many credit card chips are relatively new fad. However, the chip technology has been around since 1986. It was first used in France shortly after by Germany. Alexa is always listening to your conversations. This probably isn't new to you. Siri has been doing it forever. Alexa stores your dialogue history to its cloud to help improve your Alexa experience, but you can review and delete these recordings either in bulk or individually. People read faster or slower depending what they read from. Not only do you blink less when you're on a computer, but reading from a screen also slows you down. On average, people read 10% slower from a screen than from paper. As for the blinking part, did you know that during everyday life, people normally blink at a rate of 20 times per minute? But put them in front of a computer, that number drops way down to 7 times per minute. I think it's because of the bright display on new computers. GPS is free for some. Even though it is free to use, GPS globally it costs around $2 million to operate every day. This comes from American tax revenue. That's a lot of money, but America is like has a large population. Probably that's why. Because they pay for tax, so many people pay for tax. So yeah. There are Amish computers. There are computers specially designed without internet video and music capabilities just for the Amish. Now, what would you use it for? The features include word processing, drawing, accounting, spreadsheets, and more, but not much more. You can do that on like normal laptops. So what's the point of this? Mac computers were named after the Apple. It's not a coincidence that Macintosh is similar to Apple's code Macintosh. The name was misspelled on purpose to avoid conflict with the manufacturer called Macintosh Laboratory. The first computer mouse wasn't made from plastic. Back in 1964, Doug Engelbart invented the first ever computer mouse. But back then, it was made out of wood. It was rectangular and featured a little button on the top right. He called it a mouse because the code coming out of The back reminded him of the tiny rodents. I can't believe the first mask was made of wood. Which came first, spam mail or spam meat? Spam mail was named after the horrible canned meat in a Monty Python skit. They said spam meat was horrible and being okay, I don't know how to pronounce this, and inescapable. Sounds pretty accurate to the annoying junk mail I get. Also, did you know on average, for every spam email sent, they only get one reply for every 12 million spam emails sent. Is it even worth it at that point? True. The original Xbox had sound snippets of real space missions. The original Xbox contained edited sound bites from actual transmissions from the Apollo missions. If you left the Xbox on the home screen, eventually you'll hear whispers of the conversation, actual chatter from the Apollo mission. I never knew this because I don't own an Xbox, I own a PS4. The majority of the people plug in the USB wrong. 86% of people try to plug, oh, there's a spelling mistake here. It's not plus, it's supposed to be plug. In their USB devices upside down. That makes me feel a lot better about getting it wrong every time. Steve Jobs used sleight of hand at the first iPhone presentation. The first presentation happened 6 months before the iPhone was set to hit the market. At that time, the phone was too buggy to use, so Steve Jobs often had to switch phones behind his desk, otherwise it would run out of RAM and crash. That time, phones weren't that powerful enough. And make sure to check out my smartphone video why smartphones are getting bigger now, 2020. The first alarm clock could only ring at one time. Literally one time. The first mechanical alarm clock could only ring at 4 a.m. invented by Levi Hutchins in 1787. It wasn't until 1876 that a wind-up alarm clock was made that could be set for any time. If it would rain at 4 a.m., then some people would get annoyed and no one would buy it because who would wake up at 4 a.m.? Like, I wake up at 6 a.m. and if I wake up, and on the weekends I wake up at 7 a.m. But most people wake up on school days around 7 a.m. or 8 a.m. I think about 7 a.m. Most people, even for work. But no one would wake up at 4 a.m. unless they had to go to like a special event at a certain time. Computer Security Day is celebrated on November 30th. It was started in 1988 to help raise the awareness of computer-related security issues. To celebrate Computer Security Day is easy and important. Check your privacy settings on Facebook. Change your passwords to something stronger. You can also read the latest technology facts and make sure your data stored on your phone on the cloud is secure. The government used PlayStation 3s but not for gaming. Wait, the government used PlayStation 3 but not for gaming. In 2010, the United States Air Force used 1,760 PlayStation 3 consoles to build a supercomputer for the Department of Defense. They used PS3 because it was more cost efficient and green. Just because it's green? No, it's because cost efficient. The first online gaming was before the year 2000. I knew that. Sega Dreamcast was the first 128-bit console to hit the market, released in 1999. It was the first console that allowed real-time online play. Unfortunately, it was a little too early for its time, as back then most internet connections were not reliable enough. Because before, the internet speed was like kilobit, 1 kilobit per second, which is like so slow. It took like a couple of minutes for a page to load. And not much people had internet that time. The first product scanned was a packet of chewing gum in 1974. Norman Joseph Woodland invented the barcode and received a patent in October 1952. It wasn't until 22 years later when he was employed by IBM. If you don't know what IBM is, it's a computer company which Lenovo makes, which is now mainly known as Lenovo, but some people still know what IBM is. That the barcode was developed to be used for product labeling, known as the Universal Product Code UPC, a system that is still used today. If you are in good hands, if your surgeon was a gamer, wait, you're in good hands if your surgeon was a gamer. What is that? Oddly enough, surgeons that grew up playing video games more than 3 hours per week made 37% fewer errors. Not only that, but also they had a 42 faster completion rate when it comes to performing laparoscopic surgery, as well as stuttering. iTunes has an unusual terms and conditions. Normally people don't read terms and conditions, but some people do. I sometimes, not all the time. When agreed to terms and conditions for iTunes, you are agreeing to not use it to make nuclear weapons. Why would anyone make nuclear weapons for? The clause states you also agree that you will not use these products for the development, design, manufacture, or production of nuclear, missile, or chemical or biological weapons. Nintendo didn't start as a video games company. Founded in 1889, Nintendo was around long before computers, so what did they sell? From 1889 to 1956, Nintendo was playing a card company. I never knew that. They still manufacture playing cards in Japan and even a bridge tournament called the Nintendo Cup. I always wanted a Nintendo Switch or Nintendo 3D, Nintendo 2D when I was like really small, but I never got one. But I didn't really mind. That time I was small, so I just wanted it. Apollo 11 astronauts couldn't afford insurance, but now they have lots of money. Life insurance for a space mission cost a fortune because the risks were extremely high back then. So instead, the astronauts of Apollo 11 signed hundreds of covers that their families could sell in case anything went wrong. People are still using dial up, connecting to America Online. As of 2017, 2.1 million people still use AOL's dial-up service. Mainly these customers live in rural America, where it can be expensive and unreliable to get high-speed internet. Meanwhile, dial-up is only $20 per month. You can spell your email in Morse code. In 2004, the @ symbol became the first new character to be added to Morse code for the first time in many decades. The character is called a comma and consists of the signals for A and C with no break in between. Yahoo's original name was a mouthful. The original URL for Yahoo was akebono.stanford.edu. The name Yahoo was selected because it derived from Gulliver's Travels slang Yahoo, which was a fictional race of beings in the book. Amazon wasn't always Amazon either. Originally named Cadabra.com. Cadabra was an online bookstore only. CEO Jeff Bezos explored other options in the 90s, some of which still redirect to Amazon, like Rentless.com. If you don't know who Jeff Bezos is, he's the CEO of Amazon, and I think he's the richest person in the world right now. Before was Bill Gates, now it's him. Amazon was registered in 1994 and has grown into monolith that it is today. When Snapchat first launched in 2011, it was named Peekaboo. It wasn't renamed to what we know as Snapchat until 2012. Everyone uses Google as a spell check. Most everyone, anyway, 97% of people type in words to Google just to see if they spelled it right. I know I'm definitely among that 97%. Me too. I think most people in my school and like most people I know also do that. But there's also autocorrect. The first word to ever be autocorrected was te. Back in the day, autocorrect wasn't as efficient as it is now. In order to autocorrect to the, you had to press the left arrow and F3. Autocorrect is like really useful all the time, except when you're typing up names. It's kind of annoying. The Nintendo Game Boy went to space. Wait, the Nintendo Game Boy went to space? I never knew that. In 1993, a Soviet cosmonaut brought his Nintendo Game Boy to space on the TM-17 space mission. It is said to have orbited Earth 3,000 times and was later auctioned for $1,220. PlayStation 1 had scratch and sniff discs. In 1999, Gran Turismo 2, the second disc of the game, the blue disc featured the smell of fuel and burning rubber. When FIFA 2001 was released in 2000, they used scratch and sniff technology on the disc so it smelled like football stadium turf. Android is gender specific. The word android literally means a human with a male robot appearance. The female equivalent of the word is a gynoid. Google searches hit the billions every month. There are 35 billion Google searches each month. In May 2019, the top 3 Googled words were Facebook at 233 million searches, YouTube with 194 million searches, and Amazon with 103 million searches. There's a name when you feel your phone vibrate, but it doesn't. This is my favorite tech fact on this list. Phantom vibration syndrome is the name for when someone thinks their phone is vibrating but it isn't. Research suggests the cause for this is someone being over involved with the phone, obviously. Smoking will void your Apple warranty. That doesn't make sense. Probably it damages the computer or something. Apple has a smoking ban on their computers, meaning if you smoke while using any Apple computer, that the warranty becomes void. Who would smoke anyway? It's bad for your health. Technology is now influencing baby names. In 2012, at least 6 girls were named Apple, 49 boys were named Mac, and at least 17 girls were named Siri. However, the number of babies named Alexa in the US has dropped from 6,050 in 2015, the year Amazon's Alexa became available, to 3,053 in 2018. Alexa was the 32nd most popular name for girls born in 2015 but dropped to 90th place in 2018. Blind people can use cell phones. There is a special braille technology and accessories for blind people to use cell phones. It uses special pins that go up and down so the user can touch and read the info. Google's first tweet was gibberish. To a normal human, Google's first ever tweet on Twitter was nonsense. It reads, I'm 01110. Okay, that's binary. Translated from binary to English, this tweet says, I'm feeling lucky. The first cell phone call was in New York City. In 1973, the first ever mobile phone call was made by Martin Cooper, an employee of Motorola, made the streets of New York City. At that time, the two major companies was Nokia and Motorola. It wasn't until 19 years later when Neil Papworth sent the first SMS message, which brings us on to our next tech fact. The first commercial text message was sent in 1992. On December 3rd, 1992, a software architect, Sema Group, used a computer to text Merry Christmas to a Vodafone employee who was using Orbital 901 handset. These days, over 6 billion texts are sent per day. Over 6,000 new computer viruses are created and released every month. Right now, there's an actual virus which is taking over the world, which you know the name of. This number has drastically risen since 1990, at which point there were only 50 non-computer viruses. Today, 90% of emails contain some form of malware and most people don't know about it. There are more likes than photos on Facebook. There are more likes than photos on Facebook. Yeah, obviously. Every day, over 300 million photos are uploaded to Facebook, while 800 million likes are given out per day. By contrast, there are only 175 million love reactions every day. Yeah, each day. iPhones were almost in the shape of an apple. The original design for an iPhone was in the shape of a literal apple. It was initially designed as a flip phone with a push keypad. When closed, it looked like the Apple logo. Okay, this is the first 50 facts. I'm gonna tell the remaining 50 in a different video because now it's been like 20 minutes or like half an hour. So make sure to subscribe and make sure to comment down below if you knew all of them or if you knew only some of them. Obviously, most of the time you'd only need some of them, not all of them. And make sure to like this video if you enjoyed it, and make sure to comment down below also if you want me to do the next part like really soon. Okay, I'll see you next time.